folks. How you doing? We're not late today. Holy shit! Finally, god damn it. But people, you're here. You're chilling with y'all. I am happy. You are happy. People, welcome. It is the Midweek Chat Attack, and man, really quick, I'm already fucking up, y'all. I'm about to hear us yet again twice. Let me pause this really quick.
You weren't the only one that fucked up like that. On my personal computer, I left the other Hangouts running, and all I heard was you screaming in my ear.
Yeah.
What's going on?
It's like, Jesus Christ, man. No, but people, we are here. It is a Midweek Chat Attack. I am hyped. Hopefully, you guys are hyped as well. Birdman says he's here also, which you are also inside the Google Hangouts call. How you doing,
BBM, I see you in the YouTube chat, baby.
And then we got Allie over here, too. Allie, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic!
Oh, she's on that shit!
I'm on that shit!
Oh, Jesus, no, don't say that. They're gonna...
I couldn't get her to try weed, but methamphetamines is all she needs. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, methamphetamines is actually the best kind. But here's the thing, though.
You damn right, Cedric. We on time, baby. In the worst
For the first time in a year.
About goddamn time. He's like, and on time, MC, the end of the world really is coming. Yes, it's coming all over your face, son, because we are here. That I don't know why I went that far. I know that deserves a Jesus Christ. And yeah, like Alan's saying, first time in a year. Yeah, probably. Honestly, at this point, most likely.
People have accepted we're going to be at least 15 to 30 minutes late, and if it's really bad, an hour.
Exactly. Wait, no, it's been an hour because of the high score, motherfucker. You shut your ass up.
Man, no. Remember that one time the computer was about to fuck us over?
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, shit. People, I would defend us a bunch, but then when Friday comes on and then the Facebook gaming show doesn't come on for a little bit, then we're all gonna look stupid. So, hey, sometimes we're late, but
hey, man, that's the Facebook show. I can't control what happens on YouTube, though.
Exactly. No,
wow, way to throw your friend under the bus, and then when the bus comes towards you, throw him under the bus again.
Hey, man, just because his body wasn't crushed the first time doesn't mean he still can't be used in defense of the second time, all right?
Exactly. And by the way, BBM saying, ever since I came to these streams, I didn't know it was possible. Then again, no streamer starts on time. That is right, and we all blame it on delay, except for me. I blame it on myself because I hate myself.
We set it to half an hour later, but we start prepping normal time, so it just evens out.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. See, mathematics from the scientist himself, the scientist of all of us. And by the way, too, I mean, we're all in a good mood, but there's some people that are not in a great mood. Over here on Double Toast in the TT chat, this dude over here is saying, "You guys are going to post the show or fucking what? I did not see the whole goddamn fucking show." He's over. I just added words for the sake of it. Don't mind me.
Oh, don't worry. I'm sure they were in his head. He just didn't feel like typing them.
Exactly. Yeah.
Guys will be posting. We'll be ready in a second for an hour before the show starts.
No shit. You really do that a lot.
Posting it in advance.
Yeah, exactly. No, but I actually did everything ahead of time today, and hopefully we can start doing this at this time. If not at this time, then maybe we'll start off a little bit later and add in a 30-minute, like, hey, we're going to start 30 minutes late, just so you guys know, so we'll be on time for our lateness. See how I'm doing there? Very, very good.
Yeah, great idea.
What the fuck up? We're not doing math no more. We're talking bullshit.
Oh, no, we're going to do some more math later on, because I'm going to tell you the 5 reasons why. No, I'm just playing. I'm not doing a double toast.
I quit too, BBM.
What's that to do with math?
Well, no, because just a number. I don't know, dude. Numbers,
it was
math.
A callback. It was a callback
Numbers
to a
mean
joke.
math, okay.
Yeah,
it was a callback to a joke, Alan. Let's
exactly.
Let's
it's all good. Thank you for helping me out there. No, but we are definitely going to talk about Ant-Man and the Wasp trailer. I'm going to give you a bunch of mathematics as to why this fucking trailer sucks ass. And then they're going to tell me why I'm wrong, and then the chat's going to tell me
I'm going to tell you you're wrong.
Yeah, and I'm very curious because Allie's actually been lucky enough to not be on some of the shows lately because she's been busy with work and everything. And I'm wondering how much she's going to yell at me when I start talking shit about certain things.
Is she lucky because she wasn't on the shows, or is she lucky because she was at work? Because I think the latter doesn't count.
I don't think so either. I mean, what do you think about that, Allie?
I'm not lucky I'm at work, but...
Allie's at work right now.
Yeah, technically, this counts as work because no one wants to be here. No, I'm just playing.
I wish I could do an episode of Alan at work because if you guys don't know, we have private hangouts that we bullshit, plan shows, and just hang out in general. And sometimes Alan comes in, he's working at his dad's shoe shop. Yes, he's a cobbler in the 21st century. We were surprised too. But hell, there's a comics on the show, so we break grounds here. But I remember him selling shit on the customer because he forgot to mute it. And Alan is just one of those cashiers that is like an NPC. Like, he just gets, like, to the point and doesn't care about anything talking. Like, I've never seen him get emotional with a customer, never talk about their day, how's the wife and kids. Like, dude, please don't become a nurse because your bedside manners would be horrible.
Man, but, like, I hate that bullshit when I walk into a store and I was like, how can I help you? Tell me everything about you. Can I be your best friend? Add you on Instagram? Like, I hate that bullshit. When I walk into a store, I want the person to say hi, and if I want help, I go to them.
What are you
buying? I want to be
If I do that, I would be fired.
Yes, but the thing is, I get the sales done. I sell things to people because, again, I treat customers the same way I want to be treated, and it's worked great for me for years. Then again, I usually get a 50-50 where some people, like, they compliment me. They're like, hey, you're great. You know, you continue doing your job. You're really efficient. I really appreciate your job. And then you have other people that say, I hope I don't get commission.
My dad's the manager's joke's on you.
No, and that's what I'm gonna say too. Is like people need to realize as well as that Alan actually this is his store, so that's why. Because this is any other store, even a convenience store, your ass would be gone. Like sell product, motherfucker. Like you gotta make those numbers.
Is, like I do sell the products. I do get the sales. Like I have a very monotone way, but I have a very efficient way of getting it done. I get whatever I need to do done. Sure, I don't put a fake smile on, and I'm dead inside. Like anyone that puts a fake smile on.
Alan's the only cashier that you walk up to in that mall, and he gets like Scrotex at the bottom.
Yeah, exactly. No, and honestly, like I appreciate that from Alan because for me, like you guys think I'm an angry person and like fuck me and everything like that, but like when I'm working, I'm a kiss ass. I'm like, hey, how you doing? Oh, Bob, my name's not Bob. Bill, whatever the fuck, how you doing? Like it's like
I hate that shit.
How's the wife and kids? I ain't got no wife and kids.
Try not to
How's your dog?
I try not to do that at my jobs because at my job you have to it's mandatory that if you're helping someone, you have to get at least their first name. So
really?
there are these rare occasions that, like, sometimes, like, I'm usually good at remembering names, but sometimes, like, something will happen, a lot of things all at once, and I'll be focusing on one thing, and then I'm like, oh, crap, I completely forgot their name. So, like, the rest of the time they're in the fitting room, I'm like, hey, how's it going? Is everything fitting okay? Do you need any extra sizes? So, usually I'm able to, like, by the time I get to the register, I'm like, okay, I'll just get their card first, if they're paying by card, because then they'll just have their name, and then I can search them that way. Or I'll just ask them, like, oh, how do you spell your name? That's usually a good way. Yeah, that's usually a good way because, hey, there are multiple ways to spell, even basic names. So it's like, you want to make sure. But there's just that 1% occurrence that sometimes I'm just not on top of it, and I'm just like, oh, was your name Stacy? No, it's Mary. Oh, crap. I was like, that's quiet.
I know, you're always picking like generic ass white girl names and everything too.
I was like, I'm so sorry. I just say I say it even though it's not true. Like, I'm so sorry. I'm so bad with names.
Exactly. No,
I don't want to make them feel like, oh, she couldn't even remember my name.
Yeah, the worst part about that too is like when you actually make like you start doing having a rapport with somebody and they start telling you like their life problems, but then like the worst thing to do is that the next time you see them, you ask them like, how you doing when someone just died and you forgot. Like that shit sucks.
No, the worst thing is that when people come in, they're reoccurring and they like really like you and they want to work solely with you, and they might have like a husband or wife, and they always come in the store because I have this couple. They always come in the store, and I remembered the main person's name. But I can't remember the husband's. I'm like, crap, man, they've already been in here 2 times. I never asked, and so it's that awkward situation where it's like, oh crap, I never asked for the name. What am I gonna do?
No, that happens to me all the time.
I just broke down. I was like, I'm so sorry, I never got your name. He was like, oh, it's okay. People usually don't remember my name at first. I'm like, oh, thank God, he was nice about it.
I wish he was a dick about like full on like just British asshole. You dare forget upon my name, you heathen! I shall never stop at this appliance store again.
Appliance store? Do you know where she works?
No, I ran out of thoughts and I was like, appliances. Go.
Appliance store, yeah.
I would never apply myself to shop at the store again. There we go.
But I get that that's part of your requirement at a job like that, but it's just like at the end of it, people just want to fucking come in, buy something, and fucking leave or look around. And the idea that I have to sit there and add them on Facebook and learn about their life is like, fuck no. That's not gonna help me help them buy something faster. What it is me doing my fucking job and getting them what they need, their sizes, their whatever, help with services. That gets the sales. So it's like. Yeah,
I hate that too. I wish I could have a job like yours where I literally just sit behind the counter. Hey, how's it going? Oh, let me know if you need anything, and just go back to doing whatever. My boss is so like she's always on like everyone. She's like, hey, well you can't just start off by telling the product. You have to like get to know them first, ask how their day is. Do they have any plans this weekend?
Oh,
what's their favorite color? What's their social security number? What's their address? You have to ask them all this stuff before you actually get to selling products. And then once you have them in the fitting room, she's like, oh, well, suggest stuff that they didn't ask for. I'm like, I don't want to overwhelm this person.
swear, Allie, I like you a lot, but I don't think I can ever go to your store now because that's a lot of information I don't want to give somebody.
Man, like it feels natural when you know they're in the store and you just kind of like start a conversation. Sometimes the person just starts it themselves and you're like, oh, thank God. So then you can just roll off of them. Yeah. Sometimes though, people are just very closed off, and sometimes you just kind of have to like say compliment maybe their shoes or whatever they're wearing, just so they can kind of get a conversation flowing. Sometimes it doesn't work though, but yeah, man, it's just.
And the biggest thing too is like there's situations where people have certain jobs. Like, I mean, you and Alan are talking about like sales and things like that, and so was I. But then you get a situation like where she works, because she's in the chat saying like, "How's it going? My friend just died," and it's like, yeah, if you work like at a hospital or something like that, that does happen, and it must really suck because how can you be cheery at your desk when just death is all around you or sickness or illness?
I got the best answer for that, and not as bad as you right now.
That's an answer for them to buy a coffee and throw it in your face and leave.
Yeah, no shit at that point. But no,
what the fuck you want from me coming with that information, trying to make me sad and ruin my day? My cappuccino ain't gonna bring him back to life.
But the thing is, though, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I'm glad that God just says this shit because he doesn't work at the front desk. He works in the back.
Damn right, bitch.
He shows up in the. Dude, he shows up into this fucking store, goes into the darkness, and disappears for 8 hours.
Yeah, weed and labels come out the back.
We're the ones that have to deal with
it. I wish I had a job like that. All I want to do is just be inventory. Like, just take inventory.
Inventory's the best.
Just do that. I don't have to talk to anyone. I don't have to look at anyone. I don't have to pretend to be happy. Like, I could just be in my zone. Because I love it when I'm in the back and I'm just folding jeans, putting it on the shelf. As much as my other coworkers are like, this is I hate being back there and by myself. I'm like, nah, I'm in the zone. I can put on my music. Like, I can put on a podcast. I can listen to an audiobook and just do my thing. And I'm good.
Ali, you're gonna be more jealous because here's the thing: because I work in a weed industry, whenever we do the bottling and actual labeling, it has to be done for a product that's possibly going to be sold within the next 2 weeks. So unless the store is constantly selling it, if they're not selling within a week, I just sit there and just chill and just wait.
Wow. Yeah, it's. Man, God likes you way too much, dude.
You probably get paid double the amount I get paid too. So
yeah, but I also had to pay double for my license though, because my license is level 2, not level.
Yeah.
Wait, how'd you get that? Did you beat like the first boss of the video game, like a Metal Gear Solid? I
had to defeat Tommy Chung.
Yeah, exactly. No, but people. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't want to talk about this all day, but the biggest thing though to discuss over here is like, we don't want to ruin your day by being rude to you at our front desk. So why don't you guys? That was bad. I'm trying to get better at this shit. God, just shut the fuck up. Don't laugh at me. But yeah, we want you to get onto the show and everything like that too, guys. And like, obviously, Double Toast is going to be starting soon. By the way, I think it's actually literally at 8:30 CST. So obviously, they're going to be starting doing a movie extravaganza.
It's Corey Coleman time, so give it about 15 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, that thing about us being late, we actually got that from Corey Coleman. That was actually something he told us. Like, hey, to be part of Double Toast, you guys got to be late all the time.
For the first year, you have to be late. Let them love you. Let them want you. Then give it to them.
Yeah. Wait. Ooh. Actually, I like that. That's how I operate.
Write that down for later. Write that down for later.
Right. I think he gave you some advice for something else, and then you just kind of like made it fucking
I think I took it as a job career advice, and I think he was just advising me on something else.
Yeah, exactly. I think you both are just drunk, and then etc. But no, the thing is though, people is like, if you guys want to get onto the show, there's actually a way you can do that because obviously we're doing a lot of YouTube chat stuff because the DT chat. Look, I ain't gonna call anybody out, whatever the fuck, but YouTube chat's been whooping the DT chat's ass like a lot.
Call them out. I was on the I was on the Double Toasted chat team, and you guys are disappointing me. I was hoping you guys would continue the gifts, fucking memes and shit. I don't see goddamn anything anymore.
I'm glad. Which means I miss have a conversation without the entire host just laughing.
They're still funny in the YouTube chat. Calm down, Alan.
No, the YouTube chat's hilarious, and I like about the YouTube chat doing it because the creativity comes out when they're actually typing out all the words instead of posting a picture. So YouTube chat's just been owning it constantly, and I want to see the DT chat do some stuff too. If you guys have some gifts or something you guys want to show us, then let's see. But for the most part, until I see something, YouTube chat got it. I'm gonna be on YouTube chat all night. You know what I mean? They attacking the fuck out of the chat. But as far as that stuff goes, if you guys want to get onto the show, we can't give you a PM because we're not in the DT chat. Woo! Lots of words, Ganja Guru, lots of words. But you guys can go over here to the Facebook page, and then if you see this is pinned at the top of our post. You can come over here and just let us know in the comment section if you guys want to come on. I reached 116 people, so somebody better fucking say yes, goddammit. And if something happens and you guys' mic doesn't work, if Skynet's getting to you like Jenny does all the fucking time, we can't have you on, or maybe when you come on, I'll mute you if the shit starts fucking up. But we'll try. We'll try to get you guys on, because I want to get your opinion, especially when it comes to Ant-Man and the Wasp, because everybody knows that no one's gonna agree with me. God damn it! But when you guys come onto the show, there's gonna be some rules you gotta follow. And Ganja Guru, why don't you tell these people them motherfucking rules, son?
I do it every year, every week. As long as I keep doing this shit, I will give you the rules. For example, guys, rule number 1: newcomers join the call first. We're all about those new, fresh smelling faces people haven't seen in a while. People we're seeing for the first time. So hit me, Alan, or Allie Girl inside the Facebook or DT chat rooms, and we can get you on the show. Do not talk over each other. The solid golden rule, number 2, and the one that Nick loves to talk over to you, but I'm trying to prove a point, guys. Don't do it because it just ruins audio quality and viewing pleasure for later. Rule number 3, please no nudity. I can't keep coming up with creative things to say about this. Just stop fucking showing the tits. We are not Pornhub. Keep it to yourself. Rule number 3. Rule number 4, do not give anyone else the link, y'all. That includes certain topics we have where you come on, give your opinion, talk about some bullshit. But if you're handing out the link to anyone else, you're gone. And so is their dumbass for clicking it. Read the rules. And Allie Girl, I want you to finish this last part.
Don't be a dick.
Amazing grace.
Amazing dick.
How sweet the sound. Okay, that's not horribly goes well with that.
Yeah, it really
Oh
does.
yeah, it goes really badly.
Yeah, no, no, that was awful. Your scene literally has killed babies. It's fucking ridiculous.
Fuck you.
Aw.
I thought his rendition of fucking Aladdin was decent.
I don't want to hear you.
Dude, like, Alan's mixtape is in the dark web. That's how fucked up it is.
Oh.
Dark SoundCloud.
It's considered fucking audio terrorism.
Instead of SoundCloud, it's Sound Void.
Oh.
Aw.
You're a beautiful singing voice, motherfucker.
Hey, my voice is awful, also bad. Like,
Nick doesn't sing with his voice. He sings with his guitar strings every ringside hangout Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday,
don't
and Sunday.
say that. That shit was bad too. Dun, 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 dun. The same fucking thing over and over again. Yeah, people, I gotta work on that. One day, the ringside hangout will change.
I just, for some reason, like, I know you did like the guitar yourself and some of the other instruments, but I just picture you with the guitar and just for some reason your foot doing the drum. Dun, 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 dun. Like a one-man instrument.
Yeah, no, actually, people do that, but not me, because I'm not talented. But the thing is, yeah, Max talking about, yeah, I saw the karaoke with Allie and Alan, too. That shit was wonderful.
I have to thank Allie, because I don't know how she's able to stand beside me during that entire thing. She did laugh her ass off, but she stood beside me. That was awful.
Because we're best friends, Alan. That's why.
Yes.
My favorite was the whole audience like, man, we ain't gonna make you a bitch, and they just started singing with you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, that was sweet of them to do that, but it was still bad. I'm sorry.
I loved it.
Hey, it was fun.
Sure.
But now it's time to get into our topics and things like that. And you guys see on the top right there, it says Ant-Man and the Wasp trailer. And we're going to get right into it because the thing is, man, and I have a couple things to say about this shit. Firstly, I just want to say that I've never seen this movie. And the reason as to why I haven't is because the film looks like a silly concept. More silly than most superhero movies. I mean, the guy's a fucking ant. You know, like, I don't think anyone's ever taken this shit seriously. Especially, like, in those rooms where they're like, hey, like, let's sell this and let's put this on merchandise. It's like, how is this not just a kid's movie? You know what I mean?
I mean, not to cut you off, but like, the actual idea and what they go in the movie, yeah, it's jokey and you know, some nonsense. But the actual idea and the science behind it is pretty sound and pretty interesting.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, like I said, I mean, I'm going to take your word for it, but at a certain point, it's like, a little ridiculous for me. But yeah, I'd like to continue on with this, though, man. You know, I never really felt like the movie was going to be good because of its concept, and I don't think I'd ever be missing something if I didn't watch the movie because it's so silly. But when it comes to this trailer, like, the one thing that's pissing me off right away is the comedic nature of it. There's jokes. I mean, there's not a lot of jokes, but you can tell there's a little bit of that Ragnarok type style to this. And, like, I don't know if you guys seen the trailer, but...
Well, yeah, to be fair, the first Ant-Man was very funny. It was actually probably one of the most funniest of the Marvel movies that came out next to Guardians of the Galaxy. So this whole theme and feel that they're going for in this one is not at all far from the first film.
Yeah,
So.
and there's a couple things that look like they would be kind of scary, like this little claw thing. I think this is from the Wasp, actually.
Yeah.
Or maybe the villain. I mean, is the villain the Wasp, or is that just the friend?
No,
no,
the
Wasp
Wasp is his girlfriend or his love interest.
Yeah,
Okay.
I love it. And the first one, it's like, yeah, it has its funny moments,
partner.
but it always did take, like, it always had, it did a good balance. Unlike something like Guardians, which had a terrible balance. Ant-Man 1 did have a pretty decent balance. Like there were some really cool moments. There's some great moments when he's describing what happened to his wife, and it's like this is a really serious moment. But I felt that Paul Rudd, the main guy here, I think he's a terrible fit because every time he does a joke, it's the most forced humor. And this trailer didn't show. I actually kind of liked the trailer for the most part, but I think that there's a lot of forced humor in Ant-Man, and that's what I really didn't like about it.
Yeah, no, that's what I don't like about it either. Because when it comes to
Batman brings up a good point. When he shrinks the house to turn into a briefcase, they don't show any previous scenes, like if there's people in there. But like I'm picturing like it was an abandoned building, just like some homeless person just really got his life fucked over at that moment.
yeah.
My problem with that is in universe when you shrink down, you're supposed to be incredibly dense. That's why Ant-Man gets all of his powers. He can jump high, he can run fast because he's small. How is that building not billions of tons right now?
I don't know. I mean, like it's
The scientist brings up a good point.
Like that should be built like unless it's the Hulk fucking pulling that thing, that should be billions of tons for that building.
Yeah, I never thought about that. But Jesus Christ!
All right, it's the same point. Like it's like when Ant-Man goes small, if you do that, like the same kind of apply real world physics. From what I saw, he's supposed to actually just go through the Earth constantly till the end.
No, what it is he's not that. The thing is when Ant-Man becomes small, he becomes dense. He's not becoming a neutron star, which would go through the Earth. What it is he's basically, it's like, think of it as a piece of paper floating on the water, and you crumpled up the paper. It becomes heavier, and it will sink, but the Earth, he's still not heavy enough to sink through the Earth.
Yeah, okay. Well, my main thing here, too, as far as the comedic nature and everything, is, like, it comes to a point where in the trailer, you know, Paul Rudd or Ant-Man's over there talking about, like, why did you give her wings? I should have had the wings. Did you not have this tech before? And he's, like, complaining about how the Wasp has all this shit, or I think it's a Wasp, has all these
Yeah, the Wasp has all this shit. Yeah.
And basically, Michael Douglas is telling her, like, or telling Ant-Man, like, yeah, I had this tech before, too. Like, I had this tech. Like, hey, you know, like, this is not something that we just really found out. And Ant-Man's basically like, okay. And then Douglas even adds in there, too, oh, she has busters as well, or blasters.
Yeah, Busters.
Yeah, busters. She has busters.
Too much Devil May Cry, man.
That girl got some burners.
Yeah, and that's ridiculous to me because it's like, you know, and I know, like, you've actually discussed this, too, recently just with us talking in the Google Hangouts and everything, private calls, where you've been irritated with Peter Gamby from Black Lightning, that, you know, he's your everyday butler type who makes a suit. And at least in Black Lightning, though, you know, the dude's constantly working on the tech and the gadgets and the suit just in case Black Lightning comes back. But then, you know, you take this universe and, you know, it's not even slightly the same thing. Like, Ant-Man's going through a lot more shit than Black Lightning's going through. And yet, his main dude, his butler guy, his white guy that's always behind him, sucks. I mean, even in the first movie...
not necessarily.
Okay, hold on. Michael Douglas isn't his butler.
Not necessarily butler, but like...
No, but he's the whole reason he has that stuff in the first place. It's all his technology. So he isn't trusting him. He's basically like Tony Stark giving the suit to Spider-Man. You know, like, of course, you know, he's capable of doing stuff on his own, but, like, he has the tech from him. So, yeah, he gets to say what he can and cannot have, and he wanted to definitely save some stuff for his daughter.
Oh, that's the daughter? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's the daughter. And it's a little bit more to that, because, like, in the Ant-Man movie, Michael Douglas used to be kind of a previous Ant-Man, and the thing is, it's like, after years upon years of using the suit, it eventually got to the point where it was causing kind of damage to him, where it's like, yeah, I can't go back into that suit or it's going to severely hurt me. Like, them doing that is cool, but it does cause damage. And also, it's like, when you see Paul Rudd training, it's like, Paul Rudd's kind of an idiot as the main guy. He does his job decently, but he's really, like, it's not so much he can't be trusted, is that he's not ready. It's like the whole thing of Homecoming, where Spider-Man has all this cool tech, but he can't really use access to it because he hasn't been trained. So it's like, the girlfriend there, or his daughter, she kind of is a bit more responsible and knows a bit more what she's doing. So she gets a bit more of the tech, where he had to learn it more than she would have to.
Yeah, she's the one that actually trained him in combat. So, if anything, yeah, she is more responsible. He definitely trusts his own daughter more so than this dude who was a ex-convict or a, you know, thief or whatever. Like, even though, yes, he's a good guy and he wants to do the right thing, like, he, you know, still kind of trusting each other is a big thing.
Exactly. He only robbed that dude because he was trying to get rid of the people's, you know, I think they was trying to get rid of their insurance plan or something.
Yeah, like, when he robbed him, it was for, because at the end of the day, he's a thief, but he's like a thief with a heart of gold.
Yeah.
He's only stealing to make sure his daughter has a good life.
No,
Yeah.
but what fucked him up was he gave the money to other people. I think it was like he robbed a company that was like shutting down and stuff, and he like robbed them for the pension for the people that weren't going to get it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, and that's the thing, though. It's like, I mean, and you guys still make your points, yes, but it's just, still, though, Peter Gamby, he takes the city and its problem serious because it's so dire, and then you get something, with Douglas's character, which, they're dealing with, like, a build-up to Avengers Infinity War, or they're going to be fighting across galaxies, and the Guardians of the Galaxy, and Thanos, and all this shit, and it's all connected, and yet you didn't get this motherfucker blasters, and you didn't, like, give him these gadgets that you gave your daughter. Like, you should do enough shit. Like, even in the first movie, I remember, and I didn't watch it, but in the trailer, I remember those scenes where he's basically, like, putting him through these little tests of, like, hey, I'm going to try to drown you in the bathtub, and I'm going to shrink you down, and then hopefully you can make it, and blah, blah. And it's like, you're trying to kill your dude. Like, you run the risk of killing...
training. It's a severe training. You want a severe training, look up the Russians and the fucking KGB, man. Motherfuckers used to die during training. So it's like, because the thing is, he knows, okay, the thing about the Ant-Man suit is you are so powerful underneath it, it is the equivalent of giving a child a shotgun. If that child does not know what the fuck they're doing, they're going to just hurt themselves or people around them. So he had to be training them. It's like, yeah, put him through death-defying things. It's like, you need to learn the power of the suit because, like, the first time he does it, he gets stuck underground and has to fucking, like, almost like crop out from the fucking dirt. So it's like, the thing is, the reason his daughter never got in there is because he never wanted her to be in that life. But then, something's probably going to happen in this movie where it's like, okay, now you need to go in there. But he's always been trying to protect her, trying to stop her from doing the stuff there because he knows how dangerous the suit can be.
Okay, and that makes sense to me.
Yeah, and it's really, like, I hate to keep going back to this, but it is like Spider-Man Homecoming, where it really is about the person underneath the suit and if they're capable of handling this type of technology and just having the smarts to be able to problem solve quickly enough to be, to save people. And that's what Tony was trying to teach Peter is when, like, he took the suit away, he had to learn from ground zero of what to do and, and everything. So it's really the same thing like with Ant-Man. Plus also, you don't want to show off all of your amazing gadgets in the first movie. Like the first one, you had some cool stuff. And then, in Civil War, oh crap, he can become giant now. And then in this one now, he can do some other cool stuff. And you have the Wasp now, it has really cool stuff. So it's like, yeah, you definitely want to keep it fresh for audiences because if you're just gonna throw them with every single cool technology in the first movie, what is there to show that's gonna be cool and interesting in the next one?
Okay, and all these like you guys won me over with this. I mean, I will take the L on it, but like for me, it wasn't the fact that, like, I wasn't saying like that doesn't make sense because honestly, just the fact that he turns into an Ant-Man doesn't make sense in itself. But I was just mad because of the comedic nature of those because I feel like those things were done just to make that joke. And you guys proved to me that no, that was not the case. There's actually been thought brought into that part. But then, to continue on with that particular thing I'm talking about, you get situations like this. I mean, dude, he's a big, giant fucking sea creature popping out of the water in front of him.
All right, I thought that was kind of cool, Nick, because it is a reference to all those giant movies where for some reason, to make the character look more bigger than what they are, they have them rise out the ocean because everyone knows the water's deep.
Yeah, but then you get something, too, where this happens. It's a big fucking Hello Kitty piss dispenser used
come on, that's so funny, though.
That is kind of stupid, but I love the shot because it's just like going right over it. I'm like, yeah, but the thing is, like, yes, it does that comedic stuff, and that's something I really fucking hate about Guardians. But throwing a little comedy in there isn't the worst thing in the world. And in the first one, it's like they kind of do that whole thing of like a lot of the objects around, Michael Douglas's house are really just because at one point he has a fucking tank on his keychain, and that's a real tank. So it's like he has all these little things around the house that are miniature versions. Oh, they're dolls. Like, no, they're legitimate things. But it's just like they're doing that, and that's kind of a thing that's like, yes, that's comedy, but I think that's comedy done right. And I actually really.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead now.
Oh, no, I was gonna say I actually really did enjoy this trailer because yes, the comedy was a bit misplaced, and I feel like some of the jokes were just not finished. Like that whole thing of the whole she has blasts and all that stuff. I felt like it should have continued with I didn't give it to you because you suck. Like I figured that was the ending of the joke, but they cut that off. But some of the action, some of what they were doing with Wasp, some of the scenes, I'm like, I'm actually really digging this. I'm really anticipating seeing this movie.
And the thing is like one thing that, and maybe this is just part of me that just wants to tell people fuck you, but we just talked about this in Rabbit. And I think me and you were arguing, and then me and so many people from the YouTube chat, we're all in a Rabbit, and we're arguing about this. People complain about Transformers and product placement, and I'm sorry, but like this is bad, but I don't think it was anywhere near as bad as this shit, or like this is worse. than this. And this is the Transformers, the first one with the.
No, because
there's a reason why this is happening.
That scene goes on for a while. I guarantee you that Pez dispenser scene is going to be what we saw in the trailer.
This does not go on for longer than 2 seconds, bro. This
yeah,
is literally
but
a frame.
That to me, it's like
no, because then you got the Oreo machine too. You got the Coke machine. You got the Budweiser. You got the Beats headphones. It goes on and on in Transformers.
Wait, hold on. They actually
Nick, I
got
love
the Beats
you, but-
headphones come alive?
Wait,
Yeah, they have
no,
a Transformer of the Beats. Not headphones, but the speaker. Yeah.
Nick,
No,
I love
I
you,
agree with
brother,
They
but
had a point until they brought out like 12 other advertisements.
No, well,
Yeah.
dude, the cars that
Yeah.
have advertisements in the front of the vehicle was like
Compared to
Toyota. Like,
Compared to Ant-Man for one Pez dispenser,
but like the thing is,
that's actually a really funny gag.
Nick,
That actually implements itself into the story in a funny way.
Well, okay. Well, let's not say like.
Well,
It's
hold
funny
on a second.
because I
Let's
found this
talk-
funny, so we can't just say like
But they're
that's
actually
funny
using,
versus
they're
this.
actually utilizing though that Pez dispenser to actually try to, get the bad guy, like, get hurt or, to stop or whatever, compared to Transformers where they just have these random Transformers. You never see them again after that one scene.
Well, they're not because they're not characters. Like the reason why they were being shown is because it was supposed to be scary that this Allspark can turn anything into that robot.
Sure, I get that. But
Nick, I love you like a brother, but can you go back to that photo for 1 sec?
Okay, yeah. This right here.
Look at the background. Look at the background.
Well, what's
Man, that is a Pepsi ad right
Pepsi
behind it.
ad and Xbox.
Yeah, because this is a world that they live in.
Doing one.
No, but like the thing is, it's like there's a huge difference between.
This is like that fucking Man of Steel scene where they just went to every known restaurant for no reason.
Like that's bad product.
IHOP,
Yeah,
7-Eleven, U-Haul.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, that's
hard.
it's such a quick scene, and it's like it's a Pez dispenser where it's like that straight up had the actual everything about Xbox. Like that was like clearly paid for Xbox. Pez is almost like a fucking public domain at this point.
Well,
kinda
okay,
are.
wait, is
They have
Microsoft not?
so many different.
Oh, Microsoft's
No.
not been, Microsoft like the Xbox 360
No,
is not
you know
public
what's
domain.
funny? You know what's funny in this scene is that they actually had the Xbox sound
Yeah, it did.
when it was transforming.
Okay.
I'm not
By the way,
kidding.
I like how this is
That's
porn
kinda
person
funny.
on the side too, like, oh shit.
Or
I
you just
wanted
wanted to
make
go
that joke
home and
earlier,
play
but I
some
didn't
Call
like
of
that.
Duty.
God damn it,
No,
Alex.
but for me, it's kind of always been a staple with Ant-Man. Like from the first movie, they were constantly using reference of like toys and whatnot as weapons. So it's not really out of the realm of the universe. It's not like where Transformers, like, okay, if we haven't had Xbox or no consoles or anything that you would see transform on people until we got this advertisement spot, and it has no implication with the story. Like this has the Pez dispenser, if you want to agree, has no implication to the story, but it is used as a tool to help the villain or to get away from the escape. So it's been used properly, not as a cutaway gag.
Yeah, and man, the chat does not like you right now.
Yeah,
They throwing hands.
But
BBM has a good point though. Is like Pez is not extremely popular like it used to be. How many kids do you see are going around with Pez dispensers nowadays?
I
So
thought they were
that's-
I mean, I
Couple
live in the
kitties, too,
50s,
like,
by the way, so all the time, not funny.
Excellent. But like even in the first one, the climax of the movie, they're fighting with Tommy's the tank engine,
Yeah.
like in the background. So it's like they always do these kind of clever gags of these children, like these severe like children stuff, and they make them giant because imagine a giant Pez dispenser coming towards you. It's a little bit funny, but you're also like, oh shit, I'm about to die because of a Pez dispenser.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And over here too, I don't know if he's watching the show, but really quick, if you guys ever, and just for YouTube chat, they want to know, if you want to go to Double Toasted Chat and post like a meme or something, just go to like Imager.com or ImageFlip, and upload the picture on there, and then there you go. Thank you very much, guys.
I sent them the one I use. I use Easy Gifts.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I know like I put a stop to our discussion, but
Easy Gifts is good. It's not really for meme making because the borders are kind of fucked up and the letters are fucked up a little bit. But if you just want to get something off your computer and put it into an instant file, and the best thing about it, Easy Gift, it disappears after a while. So you can post a funny gift, and if you want it like to be a personal one, it's not going to be saved unless someone else saves it.
Exactly. That's cool. Yeah, that's badass. So anyways, but no, I mean, back to the trailer and everything too.
Yeah.
I don't know what to think about this. I mean, I got some good things to say too, just to get the chat on my side to a certain extent, because they're not
Should have
like
started with that.
Yeah, probably. But no, the one thing I can say that I do like the design of Ant-Man himself. It does look like they're having fun with this. And the one thing I will say is like this compared to all the other trailers when they're building up this character, like this summer there's a man talking. And there's another thing, and this was like, no, we're gonna have fun. Like this is just as fun as like the fucking Deadpool trailer. I mean, you get all these images of people that are in the movie, but then you get tons of action. And I'm sure they gave us like all the best parts of the movie, but could be better, and just the gimmick itself is really cool.
That is such a cool scene with the car. But like
Yeah.
the thing is, ever since Civil War, it's like someone at Marvel kicked down the door and said, "We're gonna finally have good fucking action choreography in these fucking movies." And ever since Civil War, like Winter Soldier had it, Civil War, Ragnarok. All of it, ever since that movie, all of them have had really good action choreography, and it seems like they're doing the same thing here. And it's like, good, finally, we get some cool action in these fucking $150 million movie. We can spend a couple dollars actually making a good fight scene.
No, I completely agree. And yeah, and the one thing that's really cool with the trailer too is they decided to change the timing of the trailer. This was actually 1.5 minutes, I believe. And yeah, there's constantly shit going on in the trailer, and within 1.5 minutes, it forces it to do so much more shit instead of building up dialogues of shit that's probably not even going to happen in the movie and things like that.
Sure.
This was busy as fuck, especially for 1.5 minutes, and I was like, dude, this teased me more than a teaser would tease me. Like, this was awesome. Like, I would rather watch this just longer than actually the whole movie. I want to see a collection of great trailers instead of watching the film. So I thought that was pretty cool. But I mean, any lasting words from you guys? Like, Allie, what'd you feel of the trailer just in general?
I thought it was really fun. I wasn't really looking forward to Ant-Man because, like, I mean, I saw it. That was actually, Ant-Man was the first Marvel movie I did not see in the theaters.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, it's kind of a property that I was like, about. When I watched it, I was like, okay, this is actually pretty, you know, I found some parts genuinely really funny, and I love Paul Rudd, and even Evangeline Lilly and Michael Douglas. So it's like, I like the cast and everything. It's just like the actual thing I wasn't so crazy about, but this one makes me definitely, like, I'm willing to go to the theater and see this one now. Just because I really do like all of the characters, and this seems just really fun, and like Alan said, like really creative action sequences. So it's already got my ticket.
Yeah, no, that's badass. And like you, Alan, I mean, I know you said a lot about it already, but like,
Yeah.
in general though, like to make your boy over here, Michael Douglas, not look so fucking angry. What do you feel
Man,
about
I love Michael Douglas, like, in general, and I love him in the Ant-Man. He plays a great fucking role. I'm not a huge fan of Paul Rudd. I think he's not that funny, and all of his jokes feel forced. But honestly, I really enjoyed this trailer because I was kind of tired. I'm like, I mean, I liked Ant-Man, but I didn't love it. And like the idea of another Ant-Man, I'm like, whatever. But what got me right away was the title. It's like, usually when they do these sequel movies, like Ant-Man, Rise of whatever, but no, it's like Ant-Man and the Wasp. It's like both of them get top billing, and I love that because it's a reference to the comic, because they were partners. They were on equal level. They worked together.
Alan's just happy because he wants to see one day Ganja and the Birdman.
Yeah, basically.
Oh man, but yeah, no, like I just like the titling because it's like both of them are getting top billing. It's not like Ant-Man's getting top billing and Wasp, like, oh, by the way, Wasp. It's like, no, both of them are getting top billing right off the bat, and seeing the action in there, seeing like just the dialogue, I'm like, I'm really enjoying this. I can't wait to see the movie now.
Yeah, and Ganja, how about you, man? I mean,
I'm actually feel the same way. I thought it was very creative how they're doing like the shrinking and the whole idea now, especially now they added the feature that he can actually grow 10 feet tall. Yeah. And I think they're going to do a lot of creative with stuff. Like, that was the one thing that the Ant-Man had going for it. Like, I know you say you don't like Paul Rudd's comedy. I do like that because he's kind of like that everyman, kind of like sarcastic dude. Honestly, I see a lot of similarities between his comedy and yours, Alan. I don't know, you might find that offensive, but I still find it funny.
The guy who shrinks in size.
Oh,
okay, I don't think Ganja meant that.
I didn't mean it like that, but I kind of wish
Alan wants to see himself become this. Fuck you, Ganja.
Nah, man, I have so many problems with that giant him growing taller. I don't even want to get started.
But go ahead, though.
Nah, my thing is, like, I like the jokes because it's besides like Ragnarok, which I thought the jokes were done poorly. I feel like Paul Rudd, he's been more of a comedic actor. He's come from that space where a lot of these actors they have now kind of doing forced the comedy. They've always been more serious actors, or never, like, if they've done comedy, it's always been like quick scenes where they never had to focus on lines. Whereas Paul Rudd, he's done comedic movies. I mean, well, half his career was all that. So he can easily go from like switching from like dramatics from the needed for Marvel to doing those one-liners and doing them properly where it feels genuine. It doesn't feel like someone's just reading a script or trying to throw their first little punchline out there. And I think that helps having someone that actually has comedic timing and the sense of sarcasm about them, which Paul Rudd does. And I'm actually really interested in how they're going to play the Wasp character up. Because, like I said earlier, even though Ali corrected me, she does eventually become his wife. I don't know if they're going to go with that storyline or they're just going to be love interest the whole time. They're going to be playing patty cakes and we're going to figure out if they hook up or not. But I really want to see that, like, because it seems like she's more of a badass. So I would like to see, like, how, like, using her as a more professional character drives him to become that Ant-Man hero that we want to see fight in Infinity War. Because I feel like that's going to be a little bit of the side conflict, is her trying to like take over the team and try like because she's the most skilled, she's the most educated, and him trying to retain but I'm Ant-Man.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. Like I said, I feel like this movie's going to be good too, just like how I felt like Black Panther's going to be good and how I feel like Avengers Infinity War is going to be good. But two of those trailers from the other movies I did not like, and I do think that this trailer was better than both the Black Panther one and Spider-Man Homecoming and Infinity War.
Sure.
Actually, Infinity War I liked. I don't want to talk shit about that. I just hate the Thanos
Yeah,
part.
Infinity War's a great trailer.
Yeah, it's just Thanos. Everyone's like, oh, he's so badass. And he one punch him. Fuck you.
Thanos is a little fucking bitch, and anyone that says otherwise, fight me.
Yeah, well, I'll fight with you. Me and you together, back to back. And you'll run away.
And the first time I got jumped.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, but no, people. So we're over here on our next topic here, and very straightforward little thing here. Basically, Kevin Feige confirms that Feige. Fuck it.
Isn't it Feige?
It's not Feige. Faggy.
I used to call him Faggy.
Kevin of Marvel.
There's no A.
Ali, we fuck up words on this show.
Look up the guy named Ray Fiennes and tell me how to pronounce his name.
Rafe is like, okay, dude, Ralph.
No, fuck that. I'll tell a personal story. Try to get me to say Arnold with his last name properly.
That's just you. That's a you problem.
Yeah.
That isn't me problem.
Oh, really? You want to play that game right now? I'll have you and Allie say that shit right now, and I doubt you won't say the N-word. Exactly. That shit's hard as fuck.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, that's not even his name, girl. You just
added Schwarzenegger. That's how you say it.
At the end, no, that was like an A and a U and an I. Like he was like,
no, it wasn't. That's how they.
No, Nick, no. I'm gonna put you on the spot. You say it.
You say it.
I can't. It sounds like the N-word. I'm like Ganja. That shit. No, I'm not gonna do that. Have this shit show up 2 years later when I'm famous and I get in trouble. Okay.
Saying name like that's completely different. It's not like you're purposely saying the freaking word.
I feel bad when I say it. I'm just saying I don't like it. But
if you ever meet him one day, you'll just be like, "Sorry,
Arnold.
I can't say it. I can't say your last name. Sorry."
I was like, "Yeah, nice to meet you, Mr. Yeah." And he's like, "What?" I'll get a Make-A-Wish Foundation trophy or some shit from him.
That's what?
Because I'll sound a little mentally challenged by saying his last name that way. I don't know, man.
Make-A-Wish Foundation is.
Wait, you don't know what the Make-A-Wish Foundation is?
No, you don't. Make-A-Wish Foundation means you're dying as a kid.
Yes, some of them are dealing with mental issues too. Like, there's a lot of things that go on with you when you're dying.
No.
Sometimes.
Let's get on this topic.
I'm just saying sometimes, not all the time. But sometimes there's something wrong.
Just
stop. Robot, I'll help you with that. Who wants to purge? Nick wants to purge.
Time to stop. It's time to stop. Kevin Feige, what's going on with him?
Okay, well, I hope I can say his fucking name right. Kevin Feige.
No, it's Kevin Shark. It's Kevin Feige.
Yeah,
I'm waiting.
Fiji water. Kevin, fuck you, God. You fucking bitch.
Come on.
Kevin.
Come on, baby.
You're making me laugh, you motherfucker. Stop it. No, Kevin Bortnick. Oh, so it's not funny when I make fun of Make-A-Wish Foundation, but you want to abort me? That's awful.
We support Planned Parenthood here, so it's okay.
Punctuation is very, very important, Cedric. You just said to abort me. I'm just saying. Anyways.
Motherfucker, just go on with the topic.
He's digging a further hole trying to get himself
out.
out.
We used to have 5-hour shows.
Any fucking way. God damn it. Apparently,
no. The Untitled Gaming Show.
No, basically, so apparently our boy Kevin has confirmed that Marvel isn't going to integrate X-Men or Fantastic Four into any of the announced movies. That's a key word here, announced. Because of the fact that, like, okay, we all know that the reason why they did deal with Fox is, or was it Fox or?
Yeah, Fox.
Yeah, I'm over here fucking up and everything. No, the reason why they did that is obviously because of the superhero stuff with, like, X-Men. You want to see them go into the Infinity War because that did happen in the comic books, correct?
From what I remember reading the comic, it was literally everybody. But honestly, I don't remember the X-Men being a huge part of it. I honestly, like, everyone they have in it, like, Daredevil's actually there. But honestly, the X-Men were not a huge part of the Infinity War.
What about really Fantastic Four?
What's up?
Fantastic Four or, like, Silver?
The Fantastic Four, I think, were there.
Okay.
I think they were there to a certain degree. It was Fantastic Four, Men of the Guardians of the Galaxy, most of the Avengers, and Spider-Man and Daredevil was there.
Yeah, but my main concern here is just I don't know why they even announce these things. Like, why would you do this? Because it ruins the excitement that we're gonna have with the movies. Like for me, being a wrestling fan, things like that. What's fun about watching the show sometimes is not the actual match or not the actual like thing that you're watching right in front of you. Sometimes it's like the unpredictability of like, oh, is this guy gonna show up? Is that guy gonna show up? And I thought that was the fun that lots of fans had with the the pre-Avengers movies. Like, oh man, we gotta watch that thing after the credits scene. Like, who's Iron Man gonna talk to? Oh man, is the Hulk and Thor gonna meet up or something? Like, wasn't that the fun of it to not know? And now he's gonna ruin all the fun. Like,
okay, to kind of explain why they're doing that, it's more of like, you know how people get so pissed with like, oh man, the Joker wasn't in Suicide Squad even though you advertised it. I think it's to make sure people don't think, well, oh, we got the X-Men now. That means, even though Infinity War comes out next year, they'll somehow get the X-Men in. It's like they're trying to make sure people don't overhype the upcoming, next 5 or 6 movies. They're going to integrate them in probably afterwards, the movies that are still in script phases. But the movies that are already filming...
For people who don't know how movies work. Magically film themselves in a release like that year. It takes you...
Yeah, but anyway, but that's exactly. For people don't understand how it works, it's like that... But I do agree with you of the surprise factor, because that's something that always bothers me. Of like, people don't want a surprise in a Marvel movie anymore. They want to know right off the bat what they're getting, and they just want to enjoy what they're getting anyway. Where it's like, I kind of never wanted to hear that Spider-Man was going to be in Civil War. I never wanted to see a trailer with Spider-Man in Civil War. So if Spider-Man showed up in Civil War, I'd be surprised. That'd probably be the best part of the movie. But honestly, there's no surprises when it comes to these superhero movies anymore. We know what we're getting.
No, I was going to interrupt you, but honestly, like, I don't think how they're going to keep adding these characters within this timeline, because it's already established most of the heroes are well known by the government, well known by the population. Everyone's kind of come out and been public. You either hide by your mask like Spider-Man, but most people are out and about their shit. So I don't know how suddenly Fantastic Four just came out of nowhere, or these other people within their own universe lore. Without them doing it cheesy. And like, okay, you can tell they retcon this hard.
The Hulk was doing his thing after... The Hulk was doing his thing either during or after Iron Man's stick. The Thor was doing his thing for a while, and the thing is Captain America. No, that's only till after the Avengers. But even after the Avengers, like a lot of these people were kind of doing their thing. Ant-Man apparently has been doing things for 40 years.
Well, he was under the government, so he was classified. So no one knows
so
about
my
it.
thing is that a lot of the X-Men, like until crazy shit happens, they're basically secret.
See, that's the thing. It doesn't work within the lore because aliens invade and destroy the planet. It should be something that calls them out.
Yeah, but it could be a situation like where their call to arms is them seeing like this big event. Because sometimes like they do, it's like we can't get involved. We're too far away. There's nothing we can do about it. Okay,
you see how you're coming up with a lot more. I feel like there's a lot more excuses.
Well, no, you're right that we have to find a way to write it in, but I think that they could easily make it.
But work. I don't feel like they're solid. Like I feel like a lot of stuff, like even in your own description, you're reaching for something that could be possible.
Well, yeah, but
as soon as you rationalize it, it doesn't fit.
We're just gonna do a Days of Future Past times 2.
No, I hope
Wait.
they don't do that.
Does that mean that movie's no longer canon? Thank you, God.
That's a great movie.
I hate that fucking movie.
I like that movie.
Man,
but I would not be surprised if they did pull something like that.
Dude, I'm hoping they don't do that shit, Ali, because that'll piss me off. Because that'll make us watch
anything like doing an alternate, like an Avengers and like an alternate. They have to go to an alternate universe.
That makes
like
more
the
sense.
X-Men and Fantastic Four is there just so it can appease the fans, but then they go back to their regular universe. So then they separate.
Fuck that shit.
That would actually, you joke, but that would be a great way. Like, I also think they're
I'm sure they've thought of it already.
Or that the X-Men are just coming up now, because like basically what it is, it's like God is implying that Wolverine's been doing his thing forever. But what if the situation where it's like, imagine, like you remember how X-Men 1 started, where things were quiet, where Wolverine was kind of just wandering the waste. Xavier had a few people, but he didn't really form the X-Men yet. It was just kind of a few people at school. Like they were really trained X-Men warriors. So what if the situation in which when X-Men joined the MCU, it's year 1, where Xavier looks at the fucking construction and goes, I need to find a way to help them, and forms the X-Men as a result.
Thing is, though, I really do. Honestly, I really like where Fox was going. Like, they weren't always 100% there in quality with their movies, but they've always taken risks that Marvel Studios would never take. And it's just going to be, if they do merge the two universes together, it's just going to take away, like, there just will be less, I guess, variety of different superhero movies. Because, like, Logan was so different. Deadpool is so different from the regular, MCU.
Sure.
Well,
So-
like, with that said, though, Allie, like, do you agree with them telling people like, "Yo, we're not going to be doing this"? You know, like we'll see you
Yeah.
in a few films or whatever.
Yeah, I think that was a given. Just because, of course, like they've shot a lot of the films already. Yeah, I definitely think in the future you will see maybe Galactus or the Silver Surfer or something like that. You know, because I mean they are major characters in the Marvel universe. Doctor Doom, I'm sure, will show up somewhere. So you know, it just gives them. It definitely gives them more freedom to be able to make the stories they really want to make using all the characters. But I just don't. I don't think though that they will go all out and say like, "Oh, guys, guess what? We're making X-Men now, or X-Men's in their universe." Like, because I just don't know.
Why
how
are
that
they
would work
sounding
if they
gay?
went, I don't know. Oh my god, guys!
Oh my
guess
god, guys, Spider-Man!
No, because then you have to think about would they keep the same actors? Would they get a whole new cast? And so far, at least, I honestly, like, if they get anyone else but Ryan Reynolds, I'll be very sad for Deadpool because he's just really perfect. X-Men, I could see you could probably
Don't get rid of James McAvoy. Don't get rid of James McAvoy. He's my
I
favorite.
do like him, and I would say Fassbender, but he's
Get rid of him.
Man, fuck Fast Best.
and Jennifer Lawrence, you know, she probably doesn't want to stick around either. So it's just like,
Well, she's
yeah.
still trying to get those people out of her house.
I can't believe Jennifer Lawrence talks shit about X-Men. Meanwhile, every movie she's done since the Hunger Games and X-Men has been trash.
Yeah, her career's fallen down the
let's
wayside.
not say that, all right.
Both of them have been.
Actually,
Like,
no. Watch that movie with her doing the Miracle movie with Robert De Niro. That movie was fucking great. And then Mother was amazing.
Silver
okay.
Linings Playbook was really, really great.
Oh
did we all
god.
forget Passengers?
Actually, I was okay.
Okay, to be fair, like, you could say that about every single actor that's like an amazing actor or even like a bad actor. It really depends. Like, they all have bad movies. Like, it inevitably happens.
Yeah, but they're
But
usually
in a
not
row,
bad.
though?
They're usually not bad people that
Not in
you
a
don't.
row. I don't think in a row.
I think she's had a lot
like
of,
me
like-
and no, I'm saying like a lot of actors who are really good and talented. Sometimes they have duds. I mean, she had stuff way before she was famous that she had that was really bad too. But are you gonna hold them over that?
Yeah.
Like
After
people.
they became famous.
It's the quality of their thing. Were they good because they were just they had a good
Sometimes
director
you read
and
a
good
script
movie?
and you think, "Oh, this sounds great on paper," and then the final product happens and it's not what you thought at all. You can't
True,
really blame an actor for being in a film. Like, it's a collaborative effort.
Yeah,
But you still have to blame them to a certain
for
degree.
her agent.
Yeah, well, you know what? Blame her agent for what? Being able to get a movie with Chris Pratt, who's like one of the hottest actors
Number
working
one in the box
in a
office for 3
sci-fi
weeks.
action thriller.
Okay.
I
on
mean,
the same extent,
paper,
how about this? Research the other parts of the movie, like who's the director, who's the producer? Have they made movies
the
before?
writer?
Yeah, well, you could say the same thing about smaller films that never been made before. Think about like Greta Gerwig. She's never made a film before. You would never know until you see Lady Bird and you would think, "Oh my God, she's amazing." But you got to give people a chance. You don't.
She's had
Yeah.
several chances, especially after she got famous.
Exactly.
She's
Well,
made
the thing
good
is,
films even afterwards. Like, controversial, sure. Not everyone likes Mother. Some people love it. Some people hate it. But either way, like, she's taking different roles. You have to admit her. You have to say that at least she's trying different things. And yes, it doesn't always work out. But people learn from their mistakes and they move past it.
She's not though.
but has she? Because
She's
I
becoming
love
some of a chameleon
Why
when
are
it
you
comes to
all
acting.
so
though.
like? Why are y'all hating on Jennifer Lawrence so
Okay.
much?
Hey,
Like,
I love
hey,
her.
you want to see real hate? Let's start talking about Adam Sandler.
Oh god, no, that's not. But anyway, but at this point, like I love Jennifer Lawrence. Like in the first Hunger Games and the X-Men First Class, she was one of my favorite actresses. I was watching everything she's in, but she's had too many clunkers in too short of a period of time. Where I just think that maybe she just got lucky a few times.
how many
Like, same thing-
clunkers has
honestly,
she
same thing with
had?
Michael Fassbender. Like,
Can I ask you how many clunkers would you say she's had?
Well, okay, I didn't. Okay, the ones I personally seen again. What you call Parts of American Hustle, Mother, and God, what the fuck was the other one? And parts of Passengers. At least the parts that she was in. Most of those she was just not been trying. And X-Men Apocalypse. X-Men Apocalypse was complete. She was the worst part of one of the worst parts of that movie.
I honestly have to disagree. Like, she wasn't the worst part of that movie.
One of the worst.
And either way, like, Apocalypse was just a bad movie overall. Like, you can't really
She's
blame
also bad
one
in it, though.
actor for, like, it's like, you can't blame one actor for, like, a terrible film. Like, it's like the director, it's the writer, it's so many other people that can make something so terrible. It's not just one actor. They can only
But
do
she
so
was
much.
also bad in
And
the
even
role.
though
Like,
you could also argue, I mean, hey, I know you don't personally like you know, Mother or American Hustle, but like those are critically acclaimed movies.
Yeah, they actually got like #1 box office, especially like something like
wasn't she nominated for an Oscar for American Hustle as well? Like, I mean, I would say her at least prestige, like having prestigious awards and stuff. She's in the right direction. Doesn't always work out. It doesn't always work out sometimes, but like again, people learn from the projects they do, and they move past that, and they do better at picking stuff in the future.
Yeah. By the way, I would love to continue on because I have so much more stuff to say to Alan about this too. Because I'm on your side, Allie, and everything as well. But we can't keep talking about Jennifer Lawrence.
I know, right? You're so passionate about this.
It's just like, man, she'd be so flattered to hear that 16 people give a fuck. Like,
but, she don't give a fuck about people. I heard she's the biggest bitch in Hollywood.
No,
she asked for equal pay.
No, I heard she's like a real bitch to her fans and people and stuff like that. Like I've heard stories about her just like talking shit to people that are like casual.
Let me get this straight though. Like, okay, because I've heard interviews. Like I've actually been on this binge with like listening to actors doing interviews and stuff like that. And she was actually, funny enough, she was talking to Adam Sandler, but you know, they were interviewing each other. No, but it was actually very interesting because they were talking about, you know, when people like approach her and ask for autograph and it's like, you know, you got to remember these people are people too. And sometimes they just like, you gotta say that like, they might be going through the day of people constantly coming up to them saying, hey, can I have your autograph? Can I have a picture with you? And the one person you say, I'm sorry, not today. And they have an attitude. Like, okay, well, she's the biggest bitch in Hollywood. Oh my God. Just because she says no to one person, automatically, yeah, but you don't know what's going through her day, how her day has been the rest of the, like, she actually seems like a very genuine and honest person. And apparently being honest is bitchy, especially being a female as well. Because it is a given thing that females who actually speak up for themselves. And I'm sorry, you're rolling your eyes, but it has been a woman thing.
Because I'm not talking a woman thing. I'm talking about her as a person, how she treats people, individuals that I've heard stories about from even somewhat famous people who have tried to get fixed photos with her kid, who treated them like complete cunt. Like I've heard, listen, I'm not basing on her being a woman trying to go out there and get what's her. I'm talking about how she treats people as a person, as Jennifer Lawrence. I've heard horrible stories about her, especially how she treats kids, and I don't like that shit in people.
Like, to agree with Allie, I've heard just as much good things, that she is a fun person to be around and just funny and caring. It's like you hear a lot of this stuff, but it's like, A, how much of it is true? A, how much of it is context? Exactly. And it's like, yeah, you know, and you know, in discussion, I don't hate Jennifer Lawrence. She was my favorite actor for a while, but it's like now it's like I'm less likely to see one of her movies than I was like maybe 5 years ago.
Yeah, I mean,
and when it comes to the famous thing, I don't give them a break with that shit because their fans are the ones who are going to pay the box office and the ones that are keeping their house on. Like,
yeah, but
but they also do deserve the same amount of respect that you would give anyone who isn't famous as well. Yes, okay, they're in a profession that gives them a lot more attention than anyone else, but it doesn't mean that you can hound them, and that it doesn't mean that, like, you know, you start yelling at them or being very violent towards them just because you don't get an autograph. The same thing that's said for when
they're violent and they're talking shit to them. But when I've heard stories, it's always been very innocent, like conversations with her, people that were working with her and just wanted a quick photograph, stuff like that. That is basic Hollywood stuff that you do to keep the crew happy and to keep your face in Hollywood. And she's just simply not doing that.
Yeah, but
I don't like it when men do it either. I fucking hate it when comedians do it, who are their whole career is built on working with the audience and building a connection with their fan base. Meanwhile, as soon as they get a little famous, they're like, "Fuck these plebes! I will not sign an autograph unless it's $100."
But you're making it seem like she's on a high horse. Like sometimes
that's what I've heard about her. So this is my assumption.
These are rumors. First of all, you don't know if they're all true. You don't know if they're all true. First off,
you don't know her being all nice.
I don't know it either. I will agree with you there. I don't know either, but. It's playing devil's advocate. It's just like it's not right for people to just feel like they're entitled to getting an autograph or getting a picture with someone, especially because you don't know what if their freaking like family member just died and you're hounding them for like, oh hey Jennifer Lawrence, can I have a picture with you or whatever, or anyone else, you don't know how their day has been.
Well, that's another thing. Like when you become a famous person, that you become a different type of standard now. You are a person that is, one, most of your money comes from the public. Two, your fame and your career is actually sustained by how the public views you and how you interact with the public. When you become a famous person, it is a different scenario than just me and you, Ali, walking down the street, because we are now applied to a different standards. And I think a lot of young Hollywood doesn't realize that.
I get where you're coming from, Ganja, but at the same time, these people are people, and sometimes they do make mistakes. As people, we all make mistakes. We all say things we don't mean. We all do things sometimes that we regret. It's a part of life, and people do need to understand that these are human beings. They are not gods. They're not gods at all. You know, they're regular people that because of some luck or amazing circumstances, they were able to have an amazing different life. But that still does not give people the excuse to act very nasty towards them just because one person, they cannot, they decide, I just don't feel like giving out an autograph or taking pictures. Because the same thing, I read the story on, the Stranger Things kids, where the main guy, not 11, but Finn Wolfhard, who's also in It, people were literally camping out in front of his hotel after he got back from a long stressful day of doing these interviews for how many hours and stuff, and he just wanted to go to bed. He just wanted to relax, and people were like, oh, hey, can we get an autograph? And he just walks inside with whoever his bodyguards or whatever, and then these people post on Twitter, oh man, he's such a freaking he's such a bastard, he didn't want to say, you owe us everything, we made you. It's like, no, this dude's a freaking kid. And he's worked his butt off.
I get that.
It's not right for people to say stuff like that and to start rumors like that. Oh, he was so nasty to me just because they didn't sign your freaking book, or they didn't.
Yeah, I get that, but that's the extreme version of trying to get autographed. What I'm talking about are simple, just occasional meetings where you're actually working with these people. Most of these stories that I got and heard from are people that worked with her as a crew, cameraman, people that was the fucking caterer, normal people that work within the industry that have dealt with her.
Yeah, and because we've been on this shit for fucking 3 minutes now.
Right.
But the thing is, I agree with Ganja too. I mean, you both make very, very valid points. And the one thing I will say with Ganja that I agree with, but then I also at the same time gotta show you the other side of it as well, is around that time, because I heard exactly the same thing that you said, Ganja. I heard the exact same thing and read the same thing. But when that happened, wasn't that around the time the whole the flappening thing happened? Or
probably.
It's she has a whole country masturbating to her and making fun of her and shit. Hey, this bitch and her private fucking
True,
photos.
I get that, but the thing is, you guys are giving the example of the freaks, and I'm not excusing that behavior because you're just being a dick at that point. Yeah. I'm talking about the personal little things that when fan base comes up and they're being considerate, they're being nice. The stories I've heard with crew members that tried to do that with her, and she's treating them like shit. I get it if you're a motherfucker that's camped outside for 2 days and just constantly runs to the car. Let me get your autograph. Let me get your autograph. Yeah, I get that. That'll be annoying for fucking anybody. Hell, politicians will have that to shoot. But I'm talking about the personal experiences where I hear people are supposed to have one-on-one with these stars, where you're supposed to hear great stuff, when you hear about, stars are oh, Frank Sinatra did this shit for me, where you're supposed to build that resume with the people, with the public. She tends to just avoid that or just talk shit about it.
Yeah, I mean,
at the end of it, it's how she...
Yeah, it might be just how her personality is. What if she is very closed up? I've heard she's kind of more closed off than you would think, considering her personality is very big and hey, but she actually doesn't. She's actually kind of quiet. I just don't really want to be out and about.
How I've been, because honestly, if I became famous, I would be one of those comedians that are always out there selling his merch, hanging out with the fans, having drinks with them, because I think that's the best way to become.
Yeah, but how many times before that's exhausting, where you're not just having a bad day?
Well, that's the thing.
She's been at this for years.
Going up to stage is exhausting. Doing the acting gig is exhausting. Dealing with the lawyers and
having a bad day, and it's some
that's the thing. When you're a comedian, you get told your bad day doesn't matter. Go on stage.
No, but
it's professions.
Your bad day doesn't matter, but there's going to be times where you're just frustrated. You've had a
bad gig. I've hurt myself on a gig. And I got told go up there.
Yeah, but imagine that happened 3 times in a row, and then someone comes up to you, and it's just one of the things you
got to do it. That's kind of where I come from with this mindset. I guess it's a different professions where actors are a little more cuddled, whereas comedians,
not because even that. It's a per person thing, man. Maybe you're the greatest person on earth, but I guarantee you've had a bad day at work. You've had a bad day with me.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's not the way I treat you as the public is not now I'm not dependent on that for my finances and my next career boom. That's the difference here. As comedians, you have to bond with these people. You have to sell your podcast. You have to sell your CD. You have to make them feel like they're personal.
Well, a comedian though is very much a comedian is very much more personal about like being with their fans and stuff. Actors, yes, to a certain extent, of course, because people do pay movie tickets, but it's a little bit more distant than with a comedian where you're literally on stage in front of an audience and you can interact with them. But an actor is like you're behind a camera with a crew, and sure, you get to see some people like on the red carpet, you see your fans and stuff like that, but like it's a little bit different. And actors aren't comedians. Well, some of them of course are, but a lot of actors aren't like that, so it's a little bit different. Not everyone can handle that type of situation. And I think these people do handle it the best of their abilities. So you have to remember Jennifer Lawrence has, and any other actor who's been at this for years, going on like decades, that there will be stories where you will hear about people being maybe a little bit more like nasty or whatever. Again, that like have you ever gone a day like where you've actually been a little bit more given someone more attitude than you really wanted to, and you wish you could have taken it back? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I see that too, but what we should do, we should just call this a mystery.
No, the mystery is if everyone's got a refresher, our stream is dying. That's the real mystery.
Yeah,
right
that's
now.
the big mystery. And I'm not dropping any frames, by the way, but I mean, I'll make sure to keep an eye on it and everything too. And I'm actually recording this locally as well, so if something actually happens and this shit's all fucked up, I'll be able to re-upload a good version later on. But to get back into what we're actually talking about really quick, just to kind of end that off in the way that's not Jennifer fucking Lawrence based.
Hey, it had to do with X-Men, so technically we're still on point.
Exactly, no. But yeah, with the topic at hand, though, apparently it was Vulture that spoke to Feige, which is funny because I thought they were actually referring to the actual Vulture.
So in your head, was it a bird or the person?
Yeah, the bird.
There's just a vulture on there fucking flapping its wings telling him, don't put the X-Men in.
I know, like this dude's over here fucking, I forgot his real name, but he's probably like, hey,
Michael Keaton.
Yeah, Michael Keaton.
I call him Kevin Foster and I stay quiet.
Jimmy Foster?
Yeah, I fucked up bad.
God damn.
Is this like last week when he confused the voice actor for Apu with fucking Aziz?
I confused an Indian comedian with the guy that plays an Indian stereotype. Let's all just sink that in.
That was wonderful. But no, as far as this goes, though, I mean, apparently Kevin Feige basically told him that it was going to take 6 more films before they actually go into the integration process of putting the Fox characters into these movies. And the reason why is because they didn't have any part in the lore, or they didn't have any notification that there's going to be a deal, when they were making these movies, obviously. But I guess some people, like even with Batman or something like that, like DC Comics, what they'll do is they'll just like edit some last minute thing. And Kevin Feige is like, no, we're not doing any last minute edits. Like we're not gonna pull that same shit. We're just gonna do our movies the way they are, etc. So.
It's like what me and Ganja were discussing earlier about, basically that's what all the writing room now is like. How the fuck are we gonna integrate the X-Men into this universe and not make it half-assed? So it's like, being like the discussion, before the Jennifer Lawrence stuff, is probably the exact discussion we're having right now of how we're going to make this work.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it is what it is. We'll figure that out. But the next thing I want to discuss really quick, too, and make this a little bit faster than the last one, is, apparently it looks like J.J. Abrams has already made Cloverfield 4.
Yes!
This is okay.
Wait, Cloverfield 4, there was no 3 to begin with.
Exactly.
Don't ask questions.
This is the funniest thing in the world, because when I went through the doc, because I was helping Nick with the news, when I read the title, I was about to correct it and put 3, because there's not a Cloverfield 3 yet. Until I read the article, and the article is Cloverfield 4. Apparently, J.J. Abrams just films this shit in his backyard.
No, apparently, because apparently what the story is here, and I don't know what's going on here, but they're trying to release Cloverfield film once a year. And, according to reports from Screen Rant, Variety, and other sites like that, I don't even know what this fucking means, but apparently their film is going to be called God Particle. Or it was going to be called God Particle, and then they changed it. They're like, that shit sounds stupid. You know what I mean? And apparently, like, the storyline is actually kind of cool. It actually reminds me a little bit of Prometheus. But apparently, the storyline was going to be called, or the storyline is going to be focused on a space crew surviving, and you guessed it, space. And
really, the space crew surviving space.
But the difference is this time is that the Earth was completely destroyed. That there's no way they can get back home. There's not a home to go back to, and they're basically going to be stuck in space, etc. And I don't know how that kind of links in with the phrase God Particle. Is it gonna be a religious movie or whatever?
No, this is for people that are outside of the science field. When you're in science and physics and anything, it's kind of a running gag with scientists that if you don't know what it's called, you put God in front of it.
Oh,
So the God particle is actually a reference to. I doubt it has anything to do with it, but the God particle is a reference to the particle that gives things mass. In other words, gives things weight.
Okay, I'm actually glad I brought that up then, because I was just saying that just because it's a fat chat type thing, but I mean, there's actually a reason behind it. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought it was a religious thing, but
No, it's not.
But my problem with this is like the third film doesn't even have a name yet, and I mean, especially now because the God particle thing's out. So apparently, and yeah, apparently it's a Netflix property. I'm just wondering, is this going to go straight to streaming? Why does it not have a name, and how much of this proving J.J. Abrams just doesn't know what the fuck he's doing? Like, nothing seems organized. It's the most unorganized sack of fucking filmmaking or franchising I've ever seen. I mean, even last year when 10 Cloverfield, or it wasn't last year, it was 2 years ago, but when 10 Cloverfield Lane came out, I saw a trailer in January. It came out in January, and the movie came out March 11th. Yeah, March 11th when it came out. And I was like, why the fuck are you showing this? It didn't make sense to me. It didn't make sense to me at all. And they're doing the same thing here. I mean, apparently it's owned by Netflix. Like, that doesn't make sense. But yeah,
they're small movies. They're small budgeted movies. Like,
well, from what I remember, like the Cloverfield had a real hard time getting an actual major studio release because the idea of doing the first-person camera with a bunch of CGI and monster hunting was basically like the first time they really attempted to do that, and then we had a bunch of copycats follow afterwards.
Oh yeah, didn't it start that?
Yeah, it started, but everyone just remembers the bad taste of the Blair Witch Project in their mouth.
Oh yeah.
So it was very difficult for him to try to get budget for this. So I'm not surprised that all the sequels and stuff are coming from smaller studios, and I'm hoping, like what Eddie said in the chat, we get a true Cloverfield sequel. What happens to New York City? What happens to human race after the monster actually appears? Because there's this. It's guilty of the same thing you hate from the Call of Duty zombie thing, Nick, where a lot of the story and a lot of the lore you have to go look up at random websites, Wikipedia. You have to play a game on this one website that's supposed to advertise for a soda that apparently probably discovered the monster because they were getting a plankton from the bottom of the ocean. That it's very fucking polluted. I'm not fucking kidding. Like, I thought I was discovering a new conspiracy theory. This shit was so well made. And the thing is, like, I love the idea of Cloverfield, the first person perspective, but I didn't see Cloverfield Lane because I thought it wasn't a real Cloverfield sequel. So at this point, I gotta go see it now because apparently it is number 2 considered.
Mm-hmm.
And from what Ruthless is saying in the chat right now, it seems that they're making the third one is wrapping up now and they're just doing some editing. So I'm hoping with the third one, we either get to see what happened to those people or follow a new crew that shows us what happened to the world after the New York attack. Because if you listen to the end of the movie, there's radio signal that they dropped the bomb, so the nuclear war happened because of it, and the creature's apparently not dead. So it could turn into a great first-person Godzilla movie, kind of how Godzilla teased that with a few shots, but didn't go all the way with it. Right. And I think they could do a better job with the amount of CGI now that we have, rather than what they dealt with almost 10 years later now.
Yeah, no.
These movies are run it doesn't make it makes perfect sense for me like this. These movies are fucking cheap. The first one's 25 million, the second one's 15 million. Like, these movies are pretty they're really low budget for what they're doing, and they make a lot of money. So it's a good investment. But it's like one of those things where I love the fuck out of the second one. I love it just as much as I love the first one. And it seems like they want to do this anthology thing of these all exist in the same universe, but they're different stories from different people. So it's like I kind of want them to keep going with that. I want to see 10 Cloverfield Lane in a that's the next one in a completely different, part of the world or whatever the fuck they're gonna do, because I'm excited. Like, these movies have both been good.
Yeah, and by the way, the chat, Jet, you fucking crazy girl.
So guys, if you need Solaris, all those kinds of weird space names for Viagra pills, make sure to hit up the famous Jet Jackson inside the Double Toast chat room. She can get you all your boner needs necessary.
But yeah, no, but if you guys are waiting for the Double Toast show, normally we'd be ending off right now, and excited for them, but they haven't started yet, so we're gonna be chilling here.
We're good,
doing our thing. But yeah, man, I just don't know what the fuck's gonna be happening with this. And Allie, I know that you and your mother loved 10 Cloverfield Lane as well. Are you hyped for this at all, or what do you feel?
Well, yeah, I really love. I mean, yeah, I think this whole universe they're building, as always, interests me. Just because there's just random stuff out there that's like, oh, hey, this is actually connected to Cloverfield. Oh my god, it's great. I'm like, what? Okay. It's just really interesting, and I like it. It's like a modern Godzilla, but then you see 10 Cloverfield Lane, and it just does it in an interesting way, which I honestly thought the ending, the main part was kind of the most weakest part of the film.
It is, but I still liked it.
But I still liked it too, but I definitely it kind of took me out of it, even though it was connected to Cloverfield. But yeah, still, of course I'm excited for this. It'll be great.
Yeah, man. No, so I mean, I can't wait for this. Honestly, it should be some pretty cool shit.
Oh yeah.
It's just for being on straight on Netflix too. That's something that kind of scares me. I don't know why it scares me. I'm just like, yeah, that's kind of a huge downfall from last year being one of the. I mean, it was like top. It was like 4 weeks of being #1 in the box office, I believe, too. Right before the Avengers thing came out.
They do a situation where they Beast of No Nation where they'll release it in theaters. Again, these movies,
they can still do that. I forgot about that.
They could easily do that, no problem. Like these, like again, 10 Cloverfield Lane cost $50 million. I mean, $100 million in the box office. Like they could easily just, hey, here you got $20 million, make a fucking movie, release it in the theaters, and everyone's gonna love it.
Yeah, and this, by the way, is gonna be really quick because I'm only bringing this up for one reason, and I'm gonna put it right here. But Mission Impossible 6 is coming out. Tom Cruise posted some set photos and everything. Great, whatever. You might think, like, okay, who gives a fuck? Oh, there's a reason why we give a fuck. Tell me why one of our hosts, who's been here for quite a while, hi, Alan, who's been here for quite a while and had no idea why Henry Cavill had his face CGI'd in Justice League.
Man, it's not like anyone in the chat helped me out because we were talking about this a lot.
Let you burn.
It's like no one in the fucking chat helped me out because I was just like, dude, it takes like 5 minutes to fucking shave. Why wouldn't you just shave it for the fucking movie? But apparently, because Paramount was like, you're doing this fucking movie too, you can't shave your fucking mustache because you need to do Mission Impossible at the same time as doing fucking, Justice League. And apparently now DC fans are pissed off at this movie for that exact fucking reason. But nobody in the chat told me.
I know, that show's hilarious to me.
Fans think if we just shave the mustache, somehow Justice League becomes a better movie.
I know, right?
Nah.
It'd be less laughable.
You know what? I honestly am so grateful for CGI Superman, mouth. I love it so much, and now I could just go back. It's just like Batman v Superman. Right now, I could just go back and just laugh at it because of the problem.
Well, see, Allie, you're saying that, but I don't think.
I love it.
Allie, you're saying it, but I don't think they need CGI because this motherfucker is superhuman. So basically, what happened was Henry Cavill. I mean, I'll show you guys because basically Tom Cruise actually got himself. He got hurt when he was doing some set stuff or whatever the fuck. And I forgot what the thing was. And here's a photo of Tom Cruise jumping. Tom Cruise doing amazing things over here.
Man,
hanging out the side of the helicopter.
There's a picture of Tom Cruise clearing his Zetans.
Yeah, Tom Cruise trying to kill himself for the 3rd time in a row. I'm sorry, I really fucking hate these movies because I swear to God they're all sold on top. What?
No, there was a photo of Henry Cavill pretending to be Tom Cruise.
Yeah, that was the whole thing.
Yeah, that was a big thing.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. Is that Tom Cruise was on the side of the helicopter, and so Henry Cavill, as a post, because Tom Cruise apparently just joined Instagram, so he's like, "Hey, welcome, Tom," and he's like, he did the same thing, but on the side of a van. So it's like a parody of him doing on the side of the helicopter.
Oh man, but no, and then by the way, too, just to show a little bit of love to the DT chat, Felix is pretty honest.
No love can help me. I'm Asian. I think, man, Felix. I'm sorry.
And why you gotta talk shit about Asians? Some Asians have, they don't have those problems. Okay, some of them. I don't even know. Is that real thing?
Do you want to fight this fight? Because I think it's gonna have you look more like an asshole than a hero.
What? How? I'm trying to say they don't have small dicks. That's fucked up. You just said a whole group of people saying they have small dicks. That's racist.
Well, because that opens debate for someone to go, hey, no, they don't have small dicks because of this and this. And then someone goes, no, they do have small dicks. And then we're arguing about dicks when we should be talking about Tom Cruise.
Who's a dick, by the way, so we're on topic.
Yeah, everything comes full circle.
Yep, exactly. Comes full circle.
Oh, Lord. Anyway, back to Tom Cruise consistently trying to kill himself in these fucking movies.
Oh, him? This motherfucker. Dude, this is not even on the movie, and he's trying to kill himself just to make a joke on Instagram.
Yeah, but this is one time, in the fucking, the Rogue Nation, the last one, they kept advertising it every 5 fucking seconds. Tom Cruise is on the side of a plane. Tom Cruise is on the side of a plane. Who fucking cares
Man,
at this point?
and when it got to that point, it was early on in the movie, too. I was a little bit disappointed. I was like, man, y'all hyped this up, and it was in the first 5 minutes.
Oh, she's not wrong. I literally counted it 4 minutes and 35 seconds.
But was it not amazing, though?
No, it sucked.
I mean,
it was so lame because honestly, every single advertisement they ever showed for it, they showed the strings, they showed everything. So when he's hanging on, you see everything they showed all the time right before the fucking movie started. So when the movie starts and he's doing it, it literally looks so fucking fake. And even to the extent where in my head I'm like, based on how the wind works and based on your hands, this doesn't even look like you could do it anyway. And it's like it's not even that fucking cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess I can agree with you. It's just your hatred for things just fucking.
I bet if Tom Cruise heard this, he'd be like, "Man."
Yeah, well, me and Tom Cruise are the same height, so.
Alien angels to go fuck up Alan's life.
Hey, we're the same height apparently, so.
Well, the difference is.
What the fuck's happening on the right side? What's this?
I don't want to know.
What the
Why?
fuck?
No.
Wow.
People, I'm gonna. Man, when
Hello,
I
Giggles.
Hello,
That's damn
Giggles.
right.
I thought it was E.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, that's going to be it for that, people. Now it's time for the flex and chill, son. And you know what I'm going to do right here? I'm going to put this up. Pow! And
Bam.
Bam all over the place. And look, if you guys thought the argument we had earlier was at least somewhat entertaining, man, like this shit is going to get good because once again, this is probably the third time I'm going to talk about it, but I can't wait to talk about it because I finally have another opinion on this shit. But Baby Driver. Driver, you finally watched it.
I finally watched it. I wasn't interested in it enough to watch it in theaters, but I was like, oh, it's nominated for Best Editing. Okay, I'll take a look at it because it only takes the Oscars. No, this movie though, like, I understand. First of all, the editing, just to get it out of the way, is freaking phenomenal. I could see why it's nominated, and I honestly would not be surprised if it actually won because it's just so like. I just love the first few minutes of it where, like, you know, the music's going and they literally have the lyrics on the walls or on the buildings and it's synced up. And I'm like, man, that's so creative. Like, that's kind of cool. And he's just like, it's like one track shot. I'm like, this is so great. But yeah, and I have to say, like, yeah, I understand what everyone's talking about with the soundtrack because I thought it was going to be a little bit too like shoehorned in, and sometimes I felt that way, but in a way I understand why they did it because it's kind of central to the main character that he always has to listen to music. So I really enjoyed all of the song choices, and I felt like it did fit you know, the different themes and the different tones that was going on in the film. And I will say though that my gripe about it is that that girl right there, what's her name? Lily James.
Yeah. Miss What's-Her-Face.
Yeah, I did not care for her. She wasn't terrible, but I just felt her acting was a little off. Like, she was just like a little bit too like, oh, baby, like, I don't know if anyone would act this way or just be this way in real life. Yeah, but like I was like really enjoying it all the way through. Otherwise, it was a little odd watching Kevin Spacey after everything that happened, but even he was good in it. Jamie Foxx, I really enjoyed. Also hated his character. Like, I just hated his character. Like, I just hate that character. It's really, no. But he played it so well that, you know, that, yeah, he's such a likable person. And usually what everything he stars in, so for him to play such a despicable character is so different. And I really like the different tone and change there. Man, I gotta say, like, the action, like,
yeah,
it's just like me and Nick, we love Nightcrawler, and this just reminded me of that chase scene in Nightcrawler, but, like, the whole way through. That was just like such an intense scene, and it's just like, this felt like it was much more fun. It wasn't technically as intense, but it was just like so well done, and like, oh man, yeah, it's just so. I love the action, like the action.
Stress.
The stress. Yeah, there's so much stress. Like, you know, they're gonna make it out for the most part, but like you're still kind of like, oh, how is he gonna get? You know, how is he gonna get out of this situation? So I really love that. But like everything else, like the characters, like John Hamm and his girlfriend, I'm like, they're all right. Yeah, no, Kevin Spacey, he was actually, as much as obviously what's going on, you know, in real life, I did enjoy his character. But yeah, like, honestly, I don't have that much bad things to say about it because I am a fan of most of Edgar Wright's stuff. So like writing, I say, is on point. I know people kind of 50-50 on Ansel Elgort, the main character. Such a weird name, right? But yeah, I thought he was actually pretty good. Not Golden Globe Award good, because I was a little confused when he was nominated for that. But I definitely think that he was likable.
Wow, Jamie Foxx, you just pissed him off now. He's gonna pull a gun at you, like, take that shit back.
I didn't feel I didn't feel 100% like on board. Like, oh, he's he's just a good guy at heart. Like, I get he is a good guy, and he's just thrown in a situation he didn't ask to be. Like, he was trying to pay off debt, and he got dragged into this life, and he didn't want to be. But at the same time, I was like, well, I don't care 100%, about him and what really happens to him. But at the same time, there was a part of me that still felt like sympathetic and what was going on with his with his family and everything like that.
The big reveal happened way too late too.
Yes.
Like, the reason why you're supposed to feel sorry for him doesn't happen until the movie's over. And I was like, okay, well then why do I give a fuck? Like, I don't want to get to care. Like, like.
Yeah, but like otherwise, man, this was a really entertaining film. Like, really well done in a lot of points. I watched it with my mom, and she really loved it. So it's definitely a great flick that you can just sit down and watch with a bunch of people, or like people who maybe might not be artsy folks, but just like you want to see something that's just really well made and just really fun. Definitely, this is definitely a buy it.
Yeah, no, and for me too. I mean, I've rewatched this, at least the cool scenes, like the action scenes and whatnot, like when he's on foot running away, because this movie likes to do chase scenes so much that they actually go as far as to put it like on foot chase, and I thought that was fucking awesome. And when they do that, I was like, who the fuck's gonna, like, dude, the death scenes in here, I was surprised in each and every single one of them. I was like, oh my god, that dude died? Oh fuck, that happened? Oh, that guy didn't die?
Yeah.
Is this the Terminator?
Man.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I will say that, like, I think you guys did spoil it for me before I saw the movie.
Don't
but when it actually happens, I still didn't see it coming. So it's still, spoiler alert, so we're happening.
Oh, we can. We don't have to talk about it too long, but yeah, I mean.
No, yeah, I just want to say one quick thing, like when Jamie Foxx, when he gets impaled by that metal thing, I was like, dang! I should have seen it coming, and it still surprised me. So it's good when you know something's coming, but yet it still manages to take you off guard,
Yeah, now, like, Alan, have you ever watched this again ever since you last talked about it? You refused to?
No, I honestly refuse to, but yeah, it's like that whole death scene with Jamie Foxx, it goes from a PG-13 movie to a rated R movie for the climax. So, not that I hate that, but it just threw me up. But honestly, it's like, I was so bored with the main character, I was so bored with the struggle, because the main character has the most wooden face in the world. He goes through the entire movie just kind of looking like this the whole time. He's obviously prettier than I am, but he goes through the whole movie just like this. And the soundtrack's like, I get maybe if you like the songs, you enjoy it more, but I didn't. So in my mind, this movie is just Transporter meets La La Land. Because it's like, it's get all the cool car shit and get all the fucking weird music shit and just combine it all. But like, I just was mostly bored with this movie, and it pissed me off because I love Edgar Wright as a director. I think I've watched almost all of his movies, and they're all fucking great. But this one was just everything was just bad about it. I'm 100% convinced, especially after what happened with Kevin Spacey, I'm 100% convinced John Bernthal was supposed to be in this movie the entire time, left, and they got Jamie Foxx to play the exact same fucking character. Yeah. I'm utterly convinced that's what happened.
Because the reason, too, that he even said on many, like on the Opie Anthony show and Sam Roberts show, he was like, yo, I fucking hate Kevin Spacey, and he was a dick the entire time before that whole shit came out. So,
yeah. But even with the rest of the movie, like, I never really cared about the main character. I never cared about his struggle. I never understood. Like, the movie really just blatantly says, "Oh, music helps his hearing." Okay, that's the end of that. Anything that he was doing was just, it was boring. I didn't really care that he was doing it. It didn't matter to me. It's like when he's like recording all the criminals and being like, "Oh man, I'm just doing these new mixtapes." You're still recording us, you stupid motherfucker. How are you not understanding why people are mad at you right now? And then the ending with apparently he just faces a Terminator for the fucking climax of this fucking movie.
Yeah, no, I was expecting, like, there was a scene where, like, I wanted his eye to, like, squish and then, like, it's red and he's like a robot. Yeah. Like, that would have been great.
Like, is he gonna go fight John Connor, like, after this? Like,
by the way, just to remind people and everything too, and I guess I'll take the spoiler alert thing off here, but, like, to remind people and everything as well, like, what was your rating and what would you still rate it now?
Honestly, I would still go with an avoided, because, like, it did make me mad, but it doesn't make me mad as something like Mother does, where I fucking hate that movie. But I would go with an avoided because maybe you'll like it, maybe you won't. But if you end up liking it, hey, you can tell me I'm wrong. But honestly, I don't think you're missing anything by not watching this movie.
Yeah, and for me personally, oh wait, Ganja, by the way, before I continue, did you watch this?
No, I did not. I avoid Baby Driver.
Okay, oh, you avoided it because Alan told you to avoid it.
No, I avoided it because I just felt like it was just one of those bank heist movies, and I feel like a lot of the hype was coming from the car scenes. And I'm not a real big fan of heist movies because I feel like they all kind of follow the same kind of plot lines, and the only difference is what happens interactions with characters. And I'm just not a huge fan of those movies. Even car chases, like I was actually watching the driver car chase that you guys were talking about just 2 minutes ago, and it's a great car chase, but still, to me, it's just a car chase. They never really interested me as a moviegoer.
Yeah, no, and for me, like, I remember giving it, I gave it a Rented, I think, last time. I, honestly, now, because I watched it, like, a little bit of it again, and I kind of feel like watching the entire thing again, but those scenes, like, I think you should buy it, because for me, all the clips are not on YouTube. There's a few, but not all of them, and if I had the whole movie, I would actually go back and just watch all the cool clips, and just, like, skip with the fucking, you know when you do that thing with the chapters on the DVD or whatever?
Yeah, DVD skip, yeah.
Like, I would so do that, because this movie is so rewatchable, and... Like, you're right about the character. That dude was boring as fuck. And you're right about, like, the tone shifts and everything. And, Ganja, you're right, too, that bank heist movies are the same fucking movie over and over and over again. And that's why I don't like those. And same thing with, you know, the chase stuff. The chase movies are the same. But this movie decided to do different ways of all those genres. Just slightly. Kind of the same, but, like, those car chases were unpredictable as fuck, even though this was your generic-ass action movie. And then the music thing, like, I'm sorry, but I love music videos. Like, before I started editing Double Toast stuff, I was editing music videos, and I just love that shit. It's so much fun for me. So to see this movie do it and make a whole hour and a half of that shit, that was cool as fuck. So yeah, it's a buy it for me, man. Like, I changed my rating. Like, definitely a buy it, 100%. This fucking movie is awesome, and I understand where Alan's coming from, but he was probably very, very upset watching it, and I was just kind of chill. It's whatever. So,
I'm the one that's upset watching it, Mr.
Do you like yell at movies? Like at the end of Florida Project, you started screaming and making a big scene.
I wasn't even
like,
there.
That wasn't you.
That was him. He was screaming in Florida Project.
I didn't even see the movie.
God, you know, just yell.
That's the best ending in cinema.
Nick's reaction or the actual fucking
Both.
I don't want to watch it again with Nick just to see his reaction.
No, God. Oh, man, one of these days when we can't do a live show, we're just going to have a regular, like, pre-recorded show. We're going to have a whole argument based on that Florida Project fucking scene with the
Oh, God, no. I
like,
will
doing that shit.
I am not dealing with that shit again. Okay, in case everyone's wondering, and...
No!
Okay, you're right. Hey, the people need to know, man.
Yeah, you know, actually, Alan, tell him, but me and Gandra are not allowed to talk. Alan, tell him.
Okay, so... For everyone that's seen the Florida Project and in the archives, when forever end up watching it again, there's a particular scene that Ganja and Nick argued for like fucking 2 hours, where they were arguing whether or not the woman in a restaurant at some point paid for her fucking meal, and they went through every single fucking discussion point they could think of. They're like, let's rewatch the movie. This is how restaurants work. Let's ask every fucking person with a fucking human heartbeat about did she fucking steal it. And you'd think that'd be like a 5-minute discussion of, oh, you know what, maybe she did, maybe she didn't. No. 45 minutes. We leave. Me and 90s leave to watch something up for another hour. When we come back, they're still arguing. So they're just arguing for hours. At one point, I just said, "Shut the fuck up! I'm sick of this."
But anyways, we ended up agreeing to disagree.
Yes.
But one day it might be brought back up. I don't know. We'll see. If we ever review Florida Project again, we'll see. I don't know. But aside from that, folks, maybe we'll bring it up in a rapid and see how many people I can get on my side. Ooh, no,
yeah, that never works for you, man.
Don't do that.
You know it's not gonna work. People don't fucking like.
You're not good at democracy. Don't do that.
Yeah, I really am not, man. People hate me today.
Exactly, dictatorship, man. If they hate you, at least you're in charge.
But I'll make this really quick, folks, because we're about to head on out and things like that because Double Toasted just started. Oh my God, Double Toasted! That's so you, Ganja, why don't you tell folks where to see what you guys do on Friday, sir?
I will always tell the people because me and Alan, we do a little special show on the Facebook page known as the Untitled Video Game Show, y'all, where we play some playthroughs, sometimes old games, sometimes nostalgia games, sometimes those games you haven't seen in a while, or like we're doing this Friday, some game you haven't seen at all. Because it is a VR game, I'm personally not going to be playing in VR, but Alan will. It's known as Tabletop VR. Basically, it's all your board games, all kinds of stuff that you can play with your friends. And we're going to actually play Uno for you guys live. And we're probably just going to end up canceling the show after that because we're going to throw in.
Yeah, what do you guys saw at the beginning of the Monopoly
thing? We're trying to get more people on, so if you guys actually in the audience have tabletop tennis, make sure to hit us up on the Facebook page and let us know that you guys have it so we can put you on the list to actually play with you. Because I think there is maybe 4 or 5 people that can be on it, and our goal is to have me, Alan, possibly Trey. I don't know if he's doing that D&D shit on Friday. But if he is not available, we're definitely going to have him come on. And and we're gonna have maybe 2 or 3 more spots for left any toasties or any good midnight chat attack people come on so they can come bullshit with us and play some video games as well. We try to do the show at 7:30 CST time. I am trying to get that on point. The main thing is it's hard to get the games to work, and sometimes Netflix fucks up with the audio system, so I have to go back and tweak shit. So if we don't start right at 7:30 CST time, be looking out for the notification because we are going to start between 30 minutes to 45 minutes after that time period. It just means I'm having a hard time.
And by the way, yes, JP, if we make a Salty Nick shirt, I will buy you one. I will give it to you, and then you can wear it.
It'll just be Ragnarok, but just like with salt sprinkled on it.
Oh, you fucking! I don't even look like a fucking food with that goddamn man. Will, what the fuck was that, bro? Jesus Christ! Anyways, people, that's gonna be it. So, Ganja Guru, on the count of 3, sir, I want you to scream.
3, 2,